22. Roll call, please.
Alderman Turner. Alderman Turner.
Here.
Alderman Rivera.
Present.
Alderman Florian.
Present.
Alderman Hayes.
Present.
Alderman Bolton. Alderman Bolton.
She's trying to get in on her phone.
Sorry about that. Present.
Alderman Seeger. Unmute yourself, sir. Alderman Seeger.
Present.
Alderman Moiseo.
Here.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Present.
Alderman Newsome.
Present.
Mayor Taylor.
Present.
Madam Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. At this time, we will be doing audience time call-in under audience time, not right now. But that number that you can call into is 847-856-6412. And then I'm going to have our corporate counsel make an announcement.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight's meeting is being held virtually via the Zoom video teleconferencing platform in consideration of the resurgent COVID-19 pandemic emergency, Governor Pritzker's ongoing disaster proclamation, and pursuant to Section 7E2 of the Open Meetings Act, Mayor Taylor has determined that in-person meetings of the City Council and its committees with a quorum physically present are not practical or prudent at this time. This determination will remain in place until further notice or the termination of the governor's disaster proclamation without replacement, whichever occurs first. And just to note for the record, Mayor Taylor has indicated that the next meeting of the City Council on Monday, February 7th will also be held virtually pursuant to these same provisions of the Open Meetings Act. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this time, is Pastor Deborah McCorley on? We'd like her to give the invocation. Okay, I think she's joining now. Pastor McCorley, are you there? We'll give her, there she is. Okay, Pastor McCorley, could you please give the invocation?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, we thank you and we praise you for bringing us here on this evening, God. We thank you for the men and the women that have gathered together tonight to conduct city business, Lord. We pray that all things are done in decency and order, God. Father, we thank you and we praise you for the challenges that have been overcome by the city, God, and we ask that you continue to be with us as we look forward to making adjustments and changes and growth and power throughout our city government, God. I ask that you would bless each and every man and woman that is here today, then the families that they represent. I ask that you continue to encourage them as they go forth and do our business. God, I thank you and I praise you. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much. Can we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
one nation,
with liberty,
under God, indivisible, with
liberty
and
justice for all.
God bless America.
Yeah. Good evening and welcome to the Waukegan City Council meeting. Unfortunately, we have returned to virtual meetings for this meeting and the Monday, February 7th meeting. Hopefully by mid-February, we will be back in person, but due to the Omicron variant just raging right now, we feel it is for everybody's safety, for our staff, for our aldermen, and for our residents not to be in a group setting like this. So again, we will go back to virtual or to in-person as quickly as possible. But tonight you can call in, or you've been able to send in your audience requests. But the number again is 847-856-6412. Talking about COVID, I continue to urge people to get vaccinated and be smart about COVID. If you're with groups of people, wear your mask, preferably a KN95 mask. Wear it over both your nose and your mouth, and stay home if you are sick. Take care of yourselves, your family, and your neighbors. I know this time is mentally taxing for everyone. We are all tired of this pandemic, but I happen to remain hopeful that we'll return to normal as soon as possible. My thoughts, prayers, and well wishes are with everyone in the community who is under the weather right now with COVID. Please make a recovery, protect your family, and go back to vaccinations. Some brief announcements and messages. I sincerely hope you found a fulfilling way to celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day yesterday, whether participating in events or finding a way to serve the community through volunteering. For over 2 years since the start of the pandemic, the city has not been shutting off anyone's water due to non-payment, but that will be ending soon. Starting on March 1st, if you're behind on your water bill, you're at risk for having your water shut off. We don't want to do this to anyone. So please, if you're behind on your water bill, call City Hall at 847-360-0535 and make arrangements to pay your water bill. The city will offer amnesty for late payment fees during February, from February 1st until February 28th. So please get in touch with us as soon as possible. Turning off residences or businesses' water is the last thing we want to do, but we can't continue to allow countless thousands of dollars in water bills to remain unpaid. Again, if you're behind, come to City Hall or call and we'll do our best to work with you. Also, speaking of water bills, last month, the water bills went out and I think many of you received your bill with 2 days to pay it. The reason that they were sent out late is our third-party vendor was struggling with COVID. So why you may think you will have late fees, the late fees did not go into effect until today. So those bills were sent out on the 5th. I think they were due by the 7th or 8th, but you had until the 18th with no penalty for late fees. City stickers. Our new city sticker will be ready for purchase on March 1st. For those who buy their stickers early, you'll get an early bird rate of $40. For those who purchase the sticker from April 1st to April 30th, you'll get a $45 rate. And for those who wait until May, the rate for city stickers will double to $90. So please make sure you buy early and save money. For those of you who don't purchase city stickers, please know we will be changing our policy. We will be ticketing. City stickers are mandatory. They're a way for us to keep our parking safe on the streets, meaning that those who don't have city stickers are taking up parking that residents who are paying city stickers and who do live in those homes need to have available to them. So again, we will be going after the people who have not purchased their tickets. So please get on the early side of that and purchase them from March 1st through the 31st. Our Community Development Block Grant Department is hosting an open house for rehab contractors this Thursday, January 20th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. here in City Chambers. CDBG always has projects and payment is guaranteed. Again, it's here at City Hall. We will be spreading people out. Please wear a mask, social distance, and wash your hands when you're in this building. Waukegan's hosting a wide variety of live theater and concerts over the next several weeks. Events include Nelly this Thursday and the Nelson Trust this Saturday at the Genesee Theater, Guys on Ice, the musical, which is in partnership production between the Genesee and Three Brothers Theaters and the Waukegan High School Winter Play Law and Order Fairy Tale Unit, among others. See the full calendar on our city website. Tuesday, February 1st is Chinese or Lunar New Year, ushering in the New Year of the Tiger. To our families in the community that celebrate the Lunar New Year, the city wishes you happiness and prosperity in the coming year. The COVID community-based testing site at 102 West Water Street here in Waukegan is open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Testing is free, and remember to get vaccinated, boosted, wear the face mask, and wash your hands regularly with soap and water. Also, talking about COVID testing, you can now apply on the website. Many of you are receiving this through emails and text messages to get free tests, home tests that are being sent by the federal government. You need to sign up for them. They take about 14 days to get to you, and they should be available by the end of the month. Congratulations to Cook Magnet School nurse John Burke, who was recognized by Life Changer of the Year for all his hard work, especially during the pandemic, for his excellent communication with the students and parents, and for starting new programs at the school. The city offers condolences to Mr. Clyde McLemore and his family on the passing of his mother. We also offer our condolences to the family of Lorraine Knuth, a 101-year-old Waukegan resident and World War II vet who volunteered tirelessly on behalf of veterans with the Midwest Veterans Closet. And many of you may remember, she was out at the airport on the Veterans Day celebration. Mr. Bob Trevino passed away on January 14th. He was the owner of the family business, Lake County Office Equipment. And finally, the city offers our condolences to the family of Hank Sloney, who was the much-loved president of Six Flags Great America. On that note, I'll conclude my introductory remarks for the evening meeting and move on to resolutions, proclamations, presentations, and appointments. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor Taylor. I do not believe we have any resolutions, proclamations, presentations. However, we can move on to audience time. And as Mayor Taylor indicated, members of the public have the opportunity to submit their comments to the city clerk's office by 4 p.m. today to cityclerk@waukeganil.gov. And they also have the opportunity to have their verbal statements read live by themselves. They can call in 847-856-6412. That's 847-856-6412. You'll be put into a queue, and we will read you. We will call on you in the order that you're in there, and we'll put you in the queue. But first, we have our Public Relations Director, Mr. David Motley, who will read the written submitted comments, and we had 11 comments. Mr. Motley?
Ooh. 11.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk, Mayor Taylor, Alderman. First letter is, I'm proposing these action items to protect public safety in Waukegan and refer this to a committee focused on environmental impacts on the community. 1, after meeting with Mayor Ann Taylor and Alderman Felix Rivera on December 15, 2021, they committed to an environmental town hall meeting in mid-January 2022. Please provide a date very soon. 2, advocates have drafted 2 letters for environmental subcommittee to review, edit, and send to Illinois governor and both Illinois U.S. senators. Letters should include requests for independent testing of ETO for Medline and Vantage locations and storage facilities. The data already supports that toxic health conclusion. 3, city to provide legal opinion regarding their ability to restrict or change business practices that have toxic air or water pollution impacts within the city limits and neighboring communities. 4, immediately the city will not allow building permits to be issued for businesses or residential properties that store or utilize toxic chemicals, Fed list, for any business or expanding businesses. 5, Environmental Committee will recommend a commission from residents and elected officials to recommend air and water pollution fines, existing air quality measures, and incorporate new data and toxic chemicals that have affected air quality and clean water usage. 6, city will integrate the land use assessment, environmental impact, sustainability study, and then zoning ordinance, and create an ordinance like Chicago using existing grant monies and internal staff and outside expert resources. 7, city will host a community awareness session to provide the public with information and receive community input on health or existing air and water quality and public safety issues. Mayor and chairman already committed. Set a date. 8, city will provide an elected official committee to manage the integration of land use with new building permits and new zoning categories. Chuck Ruxalis, 5th Ward resident. Second, City Council meeting, January 18, 2022. Thank you everyone for the phone calls and texts on behalf of my mom. It was not unexpected. My mom was 82 years old and in hospice. She passed peaceful in her sleep. I want to thank Alderwoman Dr. Lynn Florian for the comment on reparations for this community. With the new money that coming in from casino and marijuana dispensary, there should be a community development group to make recommendations on how this new money should be spent in community. There should be a financial discussion with the community. I would personally like to be invited to such a meeting. It should be included as community money and or reparation should be put in the casino and dispensary budget for 2023. This should have been done when all these slot machines started opening up. So many times there's ways to rob the community. It's always there, no money for community. Many municipal governments are putting forward legislators loans to repair historical Black communities. These governments are using marijuana taxes as a major source of remedies to correct these past harms. 11 different mayors across this country have pledged to pay reparations for slavery to a small group of Black residents in their cities. By Waukegan doing this, it would put Waukegan on the nation map as the 12th city do it and the 3rd to distribute the funds. Tonight, the city will vote on its first marijuana distributors, and I ask each and every one, before you vote, think about our community. Reparations are broadly understood as compensation given for an abuse or injury. 250 years of slavery, 90 years of Jim Crow, 60 years of separate but equal, 35 years of racist housing policy, until we reckon with our compounding moral debts, America will never be whole. 3rd letter. Dear Mayor Taylor and City Council, my name is Barb Hernandez. I lost my husband to cancer 10 years ago. He was very active in Waukegan as the founder of Gang Outreach, a nonprofit organization that helped to get gang members and at-risk youth to become good citizens and leave the gangs. Our home is in Gurnee, but is in the path of ethylene oxide emissions from both Medline and Vantage. My husband was exposed to carcinogenic ETO, and I believe it caused or contributed greatly to his developing cancer. What are Mayor Taylor's and Council's plans to keep citizens safe from ETO? The government's primary job is to keep its citizens safe. Everything else is secondary. We need continuous fence line monitoring of Medline, all of its warehouses and Vantage in order to accurately assess the true risk to the community. There is no safe amount of ETO. We need our Lake County government at all levels to be proactive in mitigating ETO exposure. We've been asking for over 3 years now since we first learned about ETO in our community. It is taken care of in Willowbrook within 6 months, and Lake County residents deserve the same. Willowbrook is an affluent white community, whereas Waukegan and East Gurnee are an environmental justice community. I can't help but think that this is why we are still breathing ETO and Willowbrook is not. The current laws in Illinois with regard to ETO have loopholes that need to be closed. Please As a local government, we need you first to insist that the Illinois legislature and Illinois EPA do the right thing regarding ETO emissions. Thank you, Barb Hernandez. The fourth. Hello, I would like to submit public comment to the City of Waukegan's virtual City Council meeting on Tuesday, 1/18. Please see my comments below. Hello, my name is Sarah Crawford, and I grew up 1 mile from Vantage and 2 miles from Medline. My twin brother was diagnosed with follicular lymphoma, which is just one of the cancers that is caused by ETO. The doctors at the Mayo Clinic couldn't understand why a healthy 30-year male was diagnosed with lymphoma that usually strikes a person in their 70s. Then, in November 2018, when the Chicago Tribune broke the news that the Lake County had 2 ETO polluters within 3 miles of each other, it became much clearer. I know small steps forward have been made with this toxic emission issue. However, I would like to request that Mayor Taylor and the aldermen do 3 things to help protect the residents of Waukegan and Gurnee even more. 1, contact Mark Johnson and Jack Hanley with the ATSDR and inquire about the ETO study results that were promised to Lake County last year. They were first promised in April 2022, and then they were pushed back to the fall of 2021. To date, the residents still not have been published. The results still not have been published, I'm sorry. This request needs to come from local officials such as yourselves. I have listed their email addresses below for your information. 2, continue to work towards creating stronger legislation with our representatives and senators that close the glaring loopholes in the current ETO laws, which at this time do not protect the residents from ETO emissions. 3, help find funds to have continuous fence line monitoring for both Medline and Vantage so your residents can see if the control measures that were installed are really working. Mayor Taylor, you were elected last year because we believed that you would help protect the residents from these dangerous ETO emissions. Please, Mayor and Alderman, help protect your residents and work together towards these 3 requests above. Thank you, Sarah Crawford. The 5th. Dear Mayor and Alderpersons, since the pandemic started 2 years ago, the ETO issue has taken a backseat to the numerous problems Waukegan has had to deal with. However, this problem still persists and needs to be resolved. Currently, thousands of people are still breathing a known human carcinogen, ETO, released in the air from LC polluters. In early 2020, results from the UIC pilot study under Dr. Susan Buchanan concluded that residents who lived closer to Medline had increased ETO hemoglobin adduct levels in their blood compared to the national average. The air monitoring data set from April 2020 by LC Health Department was thrown out as invalidated by EPA. This testing was supposed to check out how well the installations of emission controls were working. Since that data set was thrown out, no other independent air monitoring was done to verify the emissions were indeed as low as the permits allow. Indeed, the ill EPA fully relies on emission numbers from the polluters themselves to justify their emissions are within allowed parameters. To summarize the above bullet points, the community needs to know how much ETO is being emitted from Medline from independent air monitoring measurements. They need to know whether what's in the air is still as toxic as what is used to be prior in 2020 conclusively. Further, if these polluters are allowed to operate and release poison into our air, at a minimum, continuous fence line monitoring devices must be installed and data must be visible to the community in real time. You have the power to regulate what goes on in your city. You have the power to demand from Medline to install continuous fence line monitoring devices on its perimeter. You have the power to protect your constituents, where the Illinois EPA and Region 5 US EPA failed to perform their duties and were negligent. I hope you faithfully use your trust in your constituents' votes placed onto you. Regards, T. Tanaka. the 6th. Good evening, City Council members. Thank you for taking my public comment this evening. I am a concerned Waukegan resident and member of Stop ETO in Lake County, and I am extremely concerned about our environment here and pollution. Flint, Michigan had a very similar health crisis years ago. Although theirs was lead in the water, the government's lack of action changed the way we all view water pollution today and safeguards necessary for clean water. I fear Waukegan is heading in that same direction with its apathy to ethylene oxide pollution. Flint waited too long until too much damage had been done. With cancer rates in Lake County being the #1 cause of death, even before heart disease, we know this is a health crisis here. Rare leukemias, breast cancer, and more showing up throughout our county, although no cancer studies have been done on our behalf to prove ETO's part in it. Ethylene oxide should not be emitted anywhere near residential areas. Any amount is dangerous. And even though Medline installed safeguards, ETO continues to be emitted into our air, mutating our children's genes. Without cancer studies and support from our elected officials, we continue to live in fear, worried about the future of our children. I implore you to exemplify the compassion and ethics I know you all have and take the first step in writing a simple letter as we requested you do months ago. Waukegan has much to be concerned about environmentally, with a culmination of the pollution from its coal plant, asbestos plant grounds, cement plant, 5 total Superfund sites, and now ETO pollution. The integrated land, air, water plan is a good start as well, that Chuck Rickstalis presented to you to combat all areas of pollution in our city. In closing, I continue to pray Waukegan does not become like Flint, Michigan. But if these last 3 years are any indicator of where we are going, I am less than hopeful. Annette Darden, Stop ETO. The 7th. Dear Mayor Taylor and City Council, my name is Jamie Ruckstalis. As a Waukeganite, I have found so many reasons to be proud of our city, our residents, businesses, and alumni community. I also know that many of us have worked hard to be where we are today. Many of us continue to work tirelessly to bring about change and development and tackle the biggest challenges we face. But we must do more. The city of Waukegan continues to suffer from the effects of air pollution from ethylene oxide, ETO, emissions from plants in Waukegan and Gurnee. ETO is classified as a known carcinogen and DNA mutagen. The latest reports show that we are all still at risk. While we have so many things on our plates, we cannot ignore our history, which shows that businesses have polluted our air and our water, causing harm to our community for many years. We now have the arduous task of changing course and bringing change and development that will remove these hazards from our community. I urge everyone on the council to think about what is required to protect our community from ETO emissions. We need unity among our residents, elected officials at all levels of government, business leaders, and health experts to move forward and solve the problem of ETO emissions, which continue to plague our city. Let's restart this conversation. What can we do to ensure that history is not repeated? Thank you for your time, Jamie Ruckstalis. The 8th letter. Dear Mayor Taylor and City Council Mem and my fellow citizens, my name is Christopher Fosberg, and I'm the owner of Poniente Properties located in Waukegan, and owner of nearly 100 rental units throughout Lake County. Our portfolio pays approximately $300,000 in property tax annually, the majority of which is in the city of Waukegan. I come from several generations of Waukeganites dating back to the class of 1918 at WTHS and was born and raised here, graduating Waukegan East High School in 1983. Ever since the 1980s, we have been witness to the steady decline in our downtown area, with many businesses and residents abandoning the area. I come to you asking for your help in redeveloping a classic Waukegan building at 10 North Sheridan Road. In concert with RTO Properties, we've had the opportunity to buy this building with the plan to do a complete reformation both inside and out. Our vision is to transform the building from one that is lacking commercial tenants and only has 25% occupancy into one with its own leasing office, a fitness center, tenant lounge on the roof, and several other high-end amenities. Unfortunately, there is one piece of the puzzle that is missing, and that is the 90 parking spots we need to service the 70 rental units. Our vision of a building that will attract the best the area has to offer won't be complete without parking. As I'm pretty sure many of you are aware, cities such as Libertyville and Elgin offer free covered parking in the downtown area to those with a city sticker. In working with Ann Taylor and others on the city staff and pending council approval, we've been offered a small 20 space lot to the north of the building and access to the yet undeveloped property just to the south until such a time as you have a project slated for the land. The problem we have is a parking solution once the development of this block takes place. As I'm sure you'd agree, a well-run, high-end building will not only make a prospect of development downtown much higher, it will also draw clientele to the downtown businesses. I'm here to ask the council to seriously consider working with us in order for us to make this project viable and give a boost to the economy of our downtown area. Many thanks for your consideration. Respectfully, Christopher Fosberg, sole owner, Poniente Properties, LLC. The 9th. Today, the aviation industry requested a delay to the rollout to activate 5G on cell towers around the US due to potential dire consequences disrupting aviation services. Already, many issues have surfaced regarding cell phone towers. Tonight, my focus will address one of the issues of cell towers producing high levels of RF waves, causing a warming of human body tissues, many times attributed to cell towers illegally placed too close to residential homes. In Waukegan, the city needs to focus on 2, possibly even Meyer cell towers that I believe, based on information I have attained, are in violation and or not complying with all the requirements, city ordinance. Specifically, 1, the cell tower located on Lewis and 11th Street, located adjacent to the houses. 2, the cell tower located on Lewis Avenue and Sunset Ave by the bowling alley. Also, how many and where are other cell towers located in Waukegan, and are there any located by Waukegan Airport? How many more cell towers are in violation? Let me respond with the answer. It is yes, there are cell towers in violation and should be removed. Margaret Carrasco. The 10th letter. Waukegan City Council. I am 83 years old, and I was diagnosed with chronic lymphocytic leukemia at age 65, the year after I moved to Gurnee from Waukegan in 2004. The location of the townhouse that I bought and sold in 2017 in Gurnee was midway between the Medline plant and the Vantage plant that are the sources of emitting the cancer-causing ETO into the air that we are all breathing. It is being emitted in high numbers, exceeding the amounts that are being self-reported. Remember when all of us were subject to the poisonous PCBs of Lake Michigan back in the 1970s, which turned out to be one of the biggest Superfund sites in the country. We all accepted the reports of findings that the lake was polluted, and we took action to remediate the PCBs and other pollutants in Lake Michigan. And after many years, it is now one of the cleanest large lakes. We need to concentrate on the ETO that is being emitted by those 2 plants and realize that our small children and babies, as well as the elderly population, are subject to many diseases which could show up later in life when exposure to this ETO continues in record numbers. My blood cancer is chronic and has given me a lot of problems in my later years, including a cancerous tumor that developed and I fought 2 years ago. I don't know how much longer I will be able to fight for clean air. We all must realize that any of the population within 2 or 3 miles from these plants producing the ETO are susceptible to come down with many of the diseases that this ETO brings. I have seen parents and babies of small children that are suffering from leukemias, and there have been families that have moved from this area due to not wanting to continuing to live near these plants. Our future must be taken seriously to clean up the air and water for the people living in these areas. So please act responsibly to set up a committee to look into the ETO and study the self-reported emissions reported by both these companies. This needs to be carefully monitored for the sake of the entire public and future generations. Please help us to bring about stricter regulations to ensure the safety of everyone living around these companies. We need to be transparent enough to assure the public that we are all working together to save lives. Sincerely, Chandra Simpson, Sefton. And the 11th. Dear Mayor and Alderpersons, thank you for recognizing Waukegan's opportunity. Leadership brought a resurgence to Waukegan with the Genesee Theater, the Three Brothers Theater, a monthly art walk, Lions Woods, and most recently, American Place Casino. They will bring visitors and provide more higher paying jobs. With this comes the responsibility for the health of residents and visitors. There are long-standing unresolved issues regarding cancer-causing ETO. You are aware of the need for independent testing, fence line monitoring, etc. I went to Washington and testified to the Environmental Protection Agency about dangers of ETO in our community. I spent several days in Springfield to enact legislation limiting ETO. Today, federal and state legislative branches consider this a local problem. Until that changes, Waukegan needs to act. Residents need to know if the cancer risk has changed since 2020. It took decades before the marina cleanup started. We don't have decades to wait before ETO is addressed. If good men and women do nothing, evil will triumph. You have the integrity and power to curtail the evil of ETO. Please use your authority and act. Thank you, Diane Surufka. And Deputy Clerk, Mayor, that concludes the submitted comments.
Thank you, Mr. Motley. As we stated earlier, there's also the ability to do a call-in for comments. Now, we'll take it in the order that we receive them, so please be patient with us. We are working to make sure that everybody gets heard and that we get you in, and you have 3 minutes. So bear with us. We will state your name, and then you will have 3 minutes. But please state your name before you speak as well, just so we can get it on the record. Again, that number is 847-856-6412. And the first on our list is Mr. Bill Powers. Again, please state your name and you will have 3 minutes for your comment. Mr. Bill Powers. If you can unmute yourself, please state your name and you will have 3 minutes.
Is there a way to?
On the audience time box, it says that the audience time and microphone is muted. Do we have to unmute it, or do they have?
No, sir, that is for the written comments that are submitted. We are doing a phone system.
Okay.
So yes, please bear with us. Mr. Bill Powers, if you can state your name, you will have 3 minutes.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, state your name and you can begin.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is Bill Powers with RTO Property. Our company owns and manages over 350 units in Lake County. Most of these are in Waukegan. We recently acquired a 48-unit building at the corner of Gulf and Linden. And over the past 10 years, we really focused on improving Waukegan through the acquisition of distressed property and making it best in class throughout the city. We're very vested in the city, and we'd like to help to see it prosper. We currently are under contract with a property at 10 North Sheridan, and myself and my partners believe that there's a great opportunity to bring market renters back to the downtown of Waukegan. We're interested in investing over $5 million in this project, but we do need the help of the council to consider some major parking issues surrounding this project. I've met with Mayor Taylor and her staff to review some of the projects or possibilities for parking, and I really appreciate her willingness to hopefully see this project through. I would like to ask the council to consider some of these proposals that will come forward in the next couple weeks. Unfortunately, 10 North Sheridan is quickly becoming almost 100% subsidized, and although there's a big need for subsidized housing in Waukegan and throughout Lake County, I don't think downtown is the best place for that, and it's really better suited for a high-end market rent type of building that would really be a catalyst for what the downtown could become. So again, I'd appreciate the council considering these matters as they come up. It is time sensitive as we are under contract, and we have to make decisions about moving forward with the project. So again, we appreciate your consideration and look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. The second caller for audience time will be Yashin Phillips. If you can please state your name, and you will have 3 minutes, and your time will begin once you state your name. Okay, Yashin, whenever you're ready, you can unmute yourself, state your name, and your 3 minutes will begin. Yashin.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, state your name and your 3 minutes will begin.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Yashin Phillips. A lot of you know me as Inchworm, so I'll throw that in there. I am host of the Inchworm Show, owner of Inchworm Entertainment, but I'm here to introduce myself to all of you as the new recruiting and outreach coordinator for Youth Build Lake County. Youth Build Lake County, our mission is to provide underserved young adults with education, training, and skills necessary to becoming gainfully employed and build a better future. At Youth Build, we offer free programs for underserved youth in Lake County, such as earning high school diplomas, earning industry recognized credentials, and certifications for career readiness skills. Although there is a Youth Build in Waukegan, I am currently at the one in North Chicago, but it is Youth Build Lake County. So I just want to be clear on that. So my job is to spread the word about this wonderful organization that I'm with. And right now we are recruiting for 17 to 24-year-olds. So if you are interested, or if you know somebody who is interested in the program, please go to www.yblc.org. Once again, that's www.yblc.org. I appreciate everybody who has already reached out. We do have the Mayor Ann Taylor and Chief of Staff, Mr. George Bridges, on their way to meet our members and to get a better understanding of who we are and what we do. And I'm really excited about it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Inchworm, for your comments. Next caller we'll have is Nicole Hernandez. Ms. Hernandez, if you can please state your name, and your 3 minutes will begin once you start your comments. You can unmute yourself and state your name and your comments. Ms. Nicole
Okay. My name's Nicole Hernandez, and I'm just listening to tonight's other comments that have came in regarding the air quality, and I would like to suggest that council start some intergovernmental negotiations with the school district. There's an app called IQ Air where residents or whoever can monitor the current air quality. Right now, we're at a moderate for particulate concentration in the air, which is 2.5 times above the World Health Organization guidelines. I have brought this to the attention of the school district. They do not seem concerned. What I would suggest is putting or placing IQ Air monitoring sites at each school or near each school, so that way we can at least as parents know what we're sending our kids into out in as far as the air, because currently we only have one site. The site is on North Sheridan Road, way up by Sunset, by Bowen Park. So even, you know, those of us on the west side, those of us on the south side, we're going to have different air. If you look at other cities, they have multiple sites throughout the city. I myself am a cancer survivor. I was diagnosed at 34 years old. Several of my family members are cancer survivors. We are all born and raised in Waukegan. I feel that the effects of the air are more prominent than we care to address. And it's just very important that we realize that the effects of the air are the same effects as COVID. So you're going to get a headache. You're going to get, you know, minor chest pain maybe, or feeling a little sick, feeling a little woozy, something like that. So that's the same kind of symptoms. And if we all just monitor the air, then we can do this together. But if we just pretend like it doesn't exist and continue to ignore disabled people and ignore people with medical conditions due to our ignorance, it's not fair to the generations coming up, and it's not fair to those that have already passed on. So on behalf of the ancestors and myself, I'm just asking that you please consider that.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Mayor, right now we don't have anyone else in the queue. We're going to give it another minute to see here if my queue has anyone else that's calling in, and then we can turn it back over to you, Madam Mayor. But right now it looks like there's nobody else in the queue for a call-in. Kathy, anyone else? Nope. Okay, Madam Mayor, that concludes audience time.
Thank you very much. And thank you to everybody who spoke tonight. We appreciate your input, and that's what we're here for. Again, we are not doing any meetings right now, but we still plan on doing an environmental group, but that will not be until we get past COVID and our numbers clear. And I can't give you an exact date until I feel comfortable bringing people into City Hall, because I think an in-person meeting is the best way to handle that. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. Can I have a motion for the consent agenda? I need a motion from my alderman.
I'll make
I'll motion.
Okay, Alderman Rivera, second.
Alderman Hayes.
Alderman Hayes. Okay. Item A, motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from Monday, January 3rd, 2022. Item B, motion to approve vendor payments dated January 17th, 2022 in the total amount of $1,132,777.06. Item C, motion to approve miscellaneous payroll, EO and SC stipends, payments dated December 31st, 2021 in the amount of $6,941.66. Item D, motion to approve miscellaneous payroll, comp time, cash out, elected officials and civil service stipend dated January 14th, 2022 in the amount of $9,964.45. Item E, motion to approve regular payroll dated January 14th, 2022 2022 in the total amount of $1,729,853.04. Item F, motion to approve zoning calendar number 2643, the preliminary and final plot of the Belvedere Libertyville consolidation at 402 and 404 Liberty Street and 417 Belvedere Road. This matter was heard by the Community Development Committee at the January 3rd, 2022 regular meeting. Item G, motion to approve zoning calendar 2644, conditional use permit for an upscale body shop at 402 Liberty Street. This matter was heard by the Community Development Group or Committee at the January 3rd, 2022 regular meeting. Roll call, please.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton. I believe you said aye, Alderman Bolton. Alderman Seeger.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Motion passed, Madam Mayor.
Your
Thank you,
Honor,
Deputy Clerk.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Can we take new business as a consent or an omnibus? I'll make that motion.
Sure. Is there anything anybody wants to pull up?
Yeah, there would be a few items that would normally be, that some members would be recusing themselves on.
Oh, okay. Well, it does, well,
So, no, we could, I mean, it can be done. It would just have to be a motion to remove certain ones from
Okay.
the motion.
Yeah.
And I believe Alderman Kirkwood might have his hand up.
I'm sorry.
You're on mute.
You're muted.
I will recuse myself on those items. I always have, so my camera will be off and I will leave the area.
Okay. Actually, I don't think you need to leave the area on that. As for, is there anything else any other alderman would like to pull? Alderman Newsome?
B, C, and D.
B, C, and D. Okay.
You know, if it's gonna be a
Okay.
lot, Alderman, excuse me, Mayor, if it's gonna be a 5 or 6, we can just take it individual. I'm sorry. I didn't,
All we've got are 3, so we can go ahead and do that. Alderman
Okay.
Newsome?
G.
C and G.
Okay, I didn't hear that, Alderman Turner.
G also is about liquor license, right?
no.
No, G is a CDBG.
No, well, I'm looking at what was in my packet, so go ahead.
Okay. Okay, let's, okay, Alderman Newsome?
The liquor licenses are C and D, correct?
Correct.
They're C and
Correct.
D. Yeah,
And B is the cannabis, right?
Correct.
correct. Mhm.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, so how about we make a motion to do an omnibus under new business excluding items B, C, and D. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
So I'll
Okay,
second.
Alderman, okay, Alderman Moiseo was the first, second was Alderman Rivera. Okay, item A, motion to approve resolution authorizing amnesty for late fees for water service. Item E, motion authorizing the proper city officials to purchase 100 desktop solutions with 3-year maintenance contracts from HPI International, 1040 East 17th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 11/12/30, in the amount not to exceed $84,513. This matter was presented at the January 18th, 2022 Finance and Purchasing Committee. Item F, motion to authorize the proper city officials to make a formal application for the Rebuild Downtown and Main Streets Capital Grant. The execution of any grant agreement and/or intergovernment agreement must return to City Council for further authorization and approval. This matter was presented at the January 18th Finance and Purchasing Committee meeting. Item G, motion to approve an amendment to the 2021 CDBG Annual Action Plan to reallocate unused funds in the amount of $438,972.90 to the program year 2021 for a total amount of $1,236,219.90. This matter was heard at the December 20th, 21 Finance and Purchasing Committee meeting. Item G, motion to ratify a prior execution of lobbying services agreement between the City of Waukegan and Cornerstone Government Affairs dated December 30th, 2020 for its full 2-year term ending December 31st, 2022. This matter was presented at the January 18th, 2022 Finance and Purchasing Committee. Item I, motion to approve a resolution approving an agreement with Baxter and Woodman for design phase 1 and 2 of the pavement rehabilitation program for a not to exceed amount of $97,000. Funds will be charged to the MFT fund line item 228-9228-24435. And item J, a motion to waive the competitive bidding requirements and approve a resolution authorizing the purchase of survey equipment from Siler Geospatial in an amount not to exceed of $61,467.93. Funds will be charged to the line item 312-131-226-494 using 2018 B bonds. Just to clarify that one, that was not technically a bid. It was where they went out for the cheapest prices. And so there wasn't a bidding process on it, but it was the lowest bid on that. Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Turner.
Or any questions to the motion first, I should ask. Was there a question I heard? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton. Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Okay, omnibus motion passed, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Item B, can I have a first to the motion?
So moved.
I'll
Okay,
second.
Alderman Mosio, second. Alderman Rivera. Any questions to the motion? Okay, item B, motion to approve zoning calendar 2640.
Mayor, Alderman Florian has a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see her hand.
Thank
Okay.
you. I don't know, is there anyone with this group on the call to answer questions, or do I just need to ask the city attorney?
Yeah, no, Alderman Florian, there are representatives from the applicant, including their attorney, and then members of the application group as well.
Okay, great. They can hear me?
They can hear you, and then when you'd like them to respond, we will promote them up and ask them to unmute.
Okay, so my first question is a continuation of a question I asked in the committee about what I heard them say at the Planning and Zoning Committee meeting about wanting to take over the space next to them. So I've refined my question, and I'd like to know if they have signed a right of first refusal for that space.
I believe that the attorney for the applicant, Andrew Scott, is on the line. If Mr. Scott can unmute his line, introduce himself and say who he's with, and then he could respond to the alderman's question.
Hi, this is Ed Farrell, one of the individuals on the team. Mr. Scott's trying to get in. Can we make sure he's in, please?
I see him.
He's in.
Okay.
Your whole team. Andrew Scott, the question is for you, sir. Mr. Elliott, are you able to respond to the question?
I can respond to the question.
I apologize. I've just joined. Can you hear me okay?
Okay, do I need to repeat the question?
Yes, I apologize.
Okay, so my question is a continuation of what I brought up during the committee meeting. And I've refined my question to, I'd like to know if you signed a right of first refusal for the third space in the building you're going into.
We have not signed we have not signed a right of first refusal.
Okay, great. And then my next question is about customers from Wisconsin. I can't remember if this was asked at planning and zoning or not, but I believe marijuana is still illegal in the state of Wisconsin. So will your location be serving Wisconsin customers in the same manner that they do Illinois customers?
As long as they meet all of the requirements under Illinois law, over the age of 21, certainly they're welcome to come to this dispensary.
Okay. And were those possible potential customers included in the estimates you gave as to what you thought your revenue would be for the first year or so, and therefore what the city's revenue would be?
So yes, I mean, we'd taken a sort of this size of a dispensary, roughly 4,000 square feet, knowing the typical customer flow, the population of the surrounding area, and that the numbers that we had for $8 to $10 million in sales took that into account. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for that clarification. And then I don't know, Mr. Weiss, you and I had a conversation about the possibility of earmarking the funds from this for specific parts of our community. And I used the word reparations when I brought it up in the committee meeting. And I've since learned that's a very loaded word. And I also have learned that there are groups out there that are looking for communities that are doing this type of thing and want to file suit against them. And so I definitely never want to do anything that will bring a lawsuit to the city. However, I do think we should consider earmarking these funds because this law was intended to try to address racial inequalities as a result of the war on drugs. And I think this would be a perfect segue into putting these funds towards building our minority community that has been affected by this and by other racial inequities, in my opinion. And so I don't know if we need to talk about that while we vote on this particular, item, if we need to amend it, or if this is something we can do at a different time.
That's something I think could be done at a different time. It doesn't have to be part of this. And part of this also is they will have community money available as well. That's generally what they do. So that would be something that we'd have to discuss all that, but it is not part of this particular vote. I think.
Okay, so how much money are we talking that they're going to give to the community? Because I know we're expecting about $500,000 in taxes based on their projection. So about what would that amount look like, gentlemen?
So frankly, there's not a hard number. As we testified before the Planning and Zoning Commission several weeks back, we engage in the community and we weave ourselves into the fabric of the community, and we are certainly open to a dialogue as to, what organizations, merit participation, and this is really a partnership. So I don't have a hard and fast number. I can only say that this is a commitment on behalf of the operator and the owner to work with the community and be a part of it and to help out worthy organizations.
Dear Lord.
Okay, thank you.
So we'll go ahead and take.
Call for the question, Your Honor.
Yes. Go ahead. Do you have a question? I didn't hear that.
No, I said call, roll
Call for the
call.
vote.
Yeah,
Yep.
call
Yep, roll call, please.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Rivera,
Aye.
Alderman Florian,
Aye.
Alderman Hayes,
Aye.
Alderman Bolton, Alderman Seager,
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo,
Aye.
Alderman Newsom,
No.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Oh, aye, sorry. My apologies. Okay. Motion passed, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Item C, can I have a motion for item C?
I'll motion.
Alderman Kirkwood, yeah, I'll just have you step out for a minute. Okay.
From a procedural matter, rather than having Alderman Kirkwood actually drop out of the Zoom with the risk of him not being able to get back in, he has turned off his video and audio and will be recusing himself from items C and D. We will ask him to come back in once the vote on those has been completed.
Can I have a motion on item C?
I'll motion.
Alderman Rivera is the first, a second.
Second.
Alderman Mosio. Item C, a motion to approve an ordinance creating a Class K1 liquor license for Community Action Partnership of Lake County, 2002 North Genesee Street. This matter was heard by the Community Development Committee at the January 3rd, 2022 regular meeting. Okay, any questions to the motion? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Rivera,
Aye.
Alderman Florian,
Aye.
Alderman Hayes,
Aye.
Alderman Bolton, Alderman Seager,
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo,
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
No.
Motion passed, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Item D, can I have a first to the motion?
I'll first.
Okay,
Second.
second. Okay, Alderman Mosio for the second. Motion to approve an ordinance creating a Class F1 liquor license for Grand Avenue Mobile, 2107 West Grand Avenue. This matter was heard by the Community Development Committee at the January 3rd, 2022 regular meeting. That license is for beer and wine. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Rivera,
Aye.
Alderman Florian,
Aye.
Alderman Hayes,
Aye.
Alderman Bolton, Alderman Seager,
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo,
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
No.
Motion passed,
Okay.
Madam Mayor.
Okay, can we bring Alderman Kirkwood back, please? Yep, he's back. Okay. There being no ordinances or closing or no ordinance closing items or Alderman time.
Alderman Turner,
Thank you very much. So in the sixth ward, a couple of things happened recently that I want to talk about. One is on January 4th, I think that was a Tuesday, I was called by one of my neighbors who had a domestic situation developing between two residents in this group home. One of the residents had some mental issues, and I asked him to call the police, and he did. I went down there just to observe, as I often do, and what I observed was amazing. Officers Hindi, Hinde, and Officer Garcia, two of our female officers, were on scene. And they were able to de-escalate a very volatile situation. I mean, it was just awesome to watch these two professionals do what they do every day, and just the way that they were able to de-escalate these three very agitated, aggressive men, right? And so I'm just grateful for them, and I want to make sure to recognize them. Also, last year we had Operation Clean Sweep, and we had YCC partner with us to do a lot of work, particularly in the 6th Ward. And I'm extremely grateful. And a number of my neighbors have expressed their gratitude as well. So on Friday, I will be meeting with the YCC, the team at YCC, to give the certificates of appreciation. I want to take this opportunity to read the names of those who received those, who participated in Clean Sweep in the 6th Ward, and who will receive those certificates of appreciation. Alejandro Ayala, Alexander Aguilar, Alexis Moreno, Brian Schroeder, David Navarro, Diana Olivares, DeQuavion Henderson, Dylan Murnack, Emily Ruse, Eternity Crump, Jaheim Jones, Jalen Jones, James Taylor, Jesse Bolanas, Jonathan Munoz, Julian Rivera, Luis Flores Rodriguez, Melissa Zamora, Natania Oquendo, Nathaniel Ketchum, Philip Conver, and Teryan Washington. And the certificate reads, Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate is proudly presented to the names of the individuals I read. The residents of the 6th Ward and I wish to express our appreciation and gratitude in recognition of your efforts and accomplishments in Operation Clean Sweep 2021 and the significance of the role you play in maintaining the cleanliness and quality of life in our neighborhoods. Signed, Keith E. Turner, Alderman, Ward 6, City of Waukegan. I dated it January 12th. I cannot speak highly enough of the youth and the staff at Youth Conservation Corps, and I'm really proud they're headquartered here in the 6th Ward and everything they do across Waukegan. I of course speak about the efforts they make in the 6th Ward, but they've been active in the 1st Ward, down in the 4th Ward, and many others. I think they did some work over in 5 too. So round of applause and bravo zulu to Youth Conservation Corps. That's really about all I have tonight. I want to thank you for your time, your attention. Good night.
Thank you, Alderman Turner. Alderman Rivera.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. First, I'd like to thank everyone who participated in audience time. I also want to send my condolences to all the families in Waukegan who have lost a loved one. As the mayor indicated, the site to order your COVID test, covidtest.org. It does take 7 to 14 days to be mailed out. I did mine this morning. It took less than a minute to actually fill in the information, and I got confirmation within 2 minutes. So I encourage everyone to sign up to get your free testing, or your free tests, I should say. Also, to go along with that, continue to be careful and mindful when you're out and around people with activities. I also wanted to mention that last week I had the opportunity to meet with Marty Wozniak, who is a private citizen who sponsors a cleanup of the AMSUS every year. I believe he does it he does it 3 times a year. Alderman Turner was there, Alderman Florian was there. It was also the Park District was represented, Waukegan School District was represented, Waukegan Main Street, David Motley and Jane Ferry from the city were also there. And Marty wants to see if the city can somehow coordinate some sort of a massive cleanup for the day. The Earth Day is actually on a Friday, April 22nd. Several ideas were thrown around, but I think it's going to be a very good and an event that should create a lot of pride in our community. So more to come on that. Other than that, I just wish everyone a good night and God bless, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Alderman Rivera. Alderman Florian.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. Thank you, Alderman Rivera, for bringing up the meeting we had last week. I was also going to discuss that a little, but you kind of covered most of the bases. The one thing I do want to say we talked about that I'd really like to see happen is coordinate dumpster drop-offs that week throughout the whole city, like every ward have it, you know, maybe 3 a day or 2 a day, whatever it works out to be that whole week. So the whole city has an opportunity to participate in that, as well as the actual cleanup of trash in the streets and the places that need it. We're going to try to coordinate schools having a team to clean up around their school, churches to clean up around their churches. We're going to try to get input from all of you other aldermen to see what parts of your ward are the areas that really need to be addressed, because we know our ward best, you know, usually. And so parts of my ward don't need help at all, and other parts need help. So I'm sure it's the same for all of you. So I'm hoping that everyone will participate, at least with information of what will work in your ward, if not in the whole, you know, going all in on the whole process. So I also wanted to ask, I know Eric Vila had talked about the PCs, and someone sent me a message while he was talking about the possibility of somehow finding out a way to recycle these PCs and get them into schools or homes where people don't have a PC that they have access to. I don't know. I don't know that much about technology, so I don't know if there's a way to scrub them clean before you give them to someone or something, but apparently there's programs that exist in other places, and maybe we could do that. And then my last comment is just about our committees earlier today. I realize that according to Robert's Rules of Order, it's up to the committee chairman whether they allow people not on the committee to speak, but we, I believe, have always given each other professional courtesy when we're in a committee to ask questions. So I will ask my question now since it's my time. My concern when Chris gave his report, which I believe was for all of us, we were asked to attend the meeting to hear his yearly report, and I will reach out to him tomorrow to ask this question of him personally. But when Mr. Hewitt was still the director of public works, he purchased a $15,000 piece of equipment called a plug hug that was supposed to be an automated scrub the fire hydrant clean and paint it. And Mr. Garland mentioned that he wants to get youth in the community to do this job this summer. And my concern is just that we have this brand new $15,000 piece of equipment. Is it just sitting in a corner somewhere? Are we not using it? Did we sell it? I don't know, but I know it was purchased sometime, I think, within the last year, because I remember asking Mr. Hewitt about it when it appeared on the bill run. So I just wanted to put that out there. So thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Alderman Florian. Alderman Hayes.
Thank you very much, Alderman Florian. I'm glad you addressed your question. I was going to call on you during my alderman time to ask your question, since you weren't able to do it during the committee. Two things. First of all, I'd just like to say thank you to Commissioner Sellis for really responding very quickly last week to a heating issue that we were having at a local business in the 9th Ward. And really the entire department. People picked up the phone, which has been going on now for a short period of time, but it is certainly new to the department. So thank you very much. And we're able to resolve the issue very quickly. So I just want to let you guys know that I was really impressed, and I thank you very much. And also to the Planning and Zoning Department, thank you very much for your comments and your considerations and your staff recommendation. Thought you guys did a nice job of just working with the dispensary to flesh out a lot of the issues, anticipate what the issues are going to be, and make sure that we highlight them for the new entity that's coming in the 9th Ward. So thank you for all your work on that. That's all I have.
Thank you, Alderman Hayes. Alderman Bolton.
Yes, thank you. Once, as it was already been said, condolences to those that have lost loved ones throughout the city. And then I just wanted to really emphasize, as the mayor has announced, please pay attention to the water bills. You're behind. I believe you got a number. I believe it's 847-360-0535. And then also don't be, you are paying attention that everyone purchased their city stickers. I believe March 1st, March 31st, to get that big discount. And then so she had announced there's openings for small contracts, those that want to be supported and empowered. Make sure you contact CBDG. And the meeting will be January 20th in the chambers. And if you want to see activities that have the cities, you're more than welcome to go on Facebook. I have an Alderman page, and it's First Ward Alderman Dr. Sylvia Bolton. Thank you. That's all I have. And stay safe.
Thank you, Alderman Bolton. Alderman Seeger.
Pass.
Alderman Moiseo.
Just one thing, condolences to everyone that's passed, and just for me as a personal, especially to the Trombino family. I've known them forever. Bob was a lifetime Waukeganite through and through. Just a very, very good man, and my condolences to his family. As I said, I've known them forever. So with that, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Moiseo. Alderman Kirkwood.
Thank you, Deputy City Clerk. First of all, I want to send my condolences to former Fourth Ward Alderman Villalobos. He lost his grandmother, Miss Perez. So I'd like to send my condolences to that family. Also, the second and fourth ward will probably be doing a Zoom meeting for the two wards. We were thinking of trying to do something in person, but with the COVID virus being very high, we're going to change that, and we're going to give you some dates soon regarding a Zoom meeting. We have to find out exactly how many we can have on a particular call, but we'll do that in the month of February. Also, we're going to be doing a shred day again in February, where we'll do some electronics as well as pills in the sheriff lot that we did before. I'll get that date out to you, where there's been families that have raised a question regarding are we going to do any more shred days? And so we will do one in February and try to do one in each particular season, winter, spring, summer, and fall, so that we give people the opportunity to get rid of their paper as well as electronics and outdated pills. We'll get you those dates also. The other thing is that you heard about, getting the in-house testing regarding COVID. Also, there are various sites that will give you the rapid test as well as the long-term test. And I would encourage all of our residents to do that because the only way we're going to fight this omni disease is that we get tested and also do some contact tracing as to who we're around, and also get the best masks that are available. Also, it's important that as we will eventually get a large amount of snow, that cars are moved on those streets that you can move from one side to the other so that the plows can get through. Also, it's important that there are still leaves that some individuals in the Fourth Ward have put out on the curb area. You need to bag those leaves up and put them out for the garbage people. There are no leaves being picked up by the city, so you need to bag them up and go from there. Once again, if you have any concerns in the Fourth Ward, you can reach me at 844-484-9273 at any time there are concerns that you may have. Once again, thank everyone for being safe. Let's continue to follow the guidelines regarding the COVID virus. Have a great upcoming weekend.
Thank you, Alderman Kirkwood. Alderman Newsom.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk Patterson. There was a water main break over in the 5th Ward in the 2600 block of Grove Avenue last week. So I was asked to reach out to Mr. Chris and his staff and let them know how much the residents over there on the Grove Avenue really appreciated their swift repair of that water main break. I know we've had some I've seen throughout the city, so I appreciate their efforts in getting all those repairs done swiftly for the residents. And then, as has been mentioned, my condolences to the West Trombino family and also to Clyde McLemore on the passing of his mother. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Newsom. Madam Mayor, that concludes Alderman's time.
Thank you, everyone. Again, I just want to remind and thank you to the Alderman for bringing up the reminders that this Thursday is the open house for the rehab contractors. So that's January 20th. And believe it or not, we're most of the way done with January already. So, that is this Thursday. With that said, can we do a roll call for motion to adjourn? Alderman Rivera is the first, a second.
Second.
Alderman Turner, roll call, please.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton. Alderman Seeger. You have to unmute yourself, sir. Alderman Seeger. We'll go back to Alderman Seeger. Alderman Moiseo.
There he goes.
Okay, Alderman Seeger.
Okay, Alderman Seeger.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo. Okay. Coach, are you there? Alderman Moiseo.
I'm here, I'm sorry.
Okay, we're adjourning. Motion to adjourn. Yes, no?
Aye.
Okay. Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Okay, motion passed.
Thank you very much, Deputy Clerk. Have a wonderful evening, and we will see you again on Zoom on Monday, February 7th. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye.